big cam. It must. I don't know why it keeps getting interrupted, but it looks like it might be our software issue.
It's a software
because we have layered software and one layer. You guys don't want to know, but anyway.
Yeah. See, they thought we were just going live doing the show like you go live on Facebook or something.
No, we have like really cool software, but I switched that one off, and it looks like it hit it again. So I'm gonna see if our basic software is working now.
Okay.
But they don't want to get into that. Let's see if we can pull people back in. But if not, we'll have to redo the show, guys.
It's all right.
Till we find. Are we on? Are we not on? I don't know.
I think we're on now.
Oh my gosh, y'all! This is like woo 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 woo. What is going on?
It's like double dutch when you're trying to figure out how to. Are you gonna jump in? Can we jump back?
How many people did double dutch? How many people did double dutch?
What you know about double dutch?
I don't even know how we're on live right now. I see the thumbs up. Thank you so much.
See 2 thumbs up.
I see the thumbs up. Welcome back. I'll probably just stitch the show together. This is making me do some more work today.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
This we're not supposed to be working like this on Saturday.
No.
We want to come in. We want to do a beautiful live show for our audience. We want to engage with the people. We want to bring some upbeat vibes to folks Saturday morning. We don't need software glitches.
It's like, what is going on? We never have these. But I did update the software this weekend. Something told me not to do that.
So you know what my man said in the office where I used to work?
What?
He said, glitches be crazy.
No, that's so funny. I thought you were gonna say something else.
We were using this new software in the office, and it was just like it was super glitchy. And he looked at me. He was like, glitches be crazy.
Hit the thumbs up, guys. Hit the hearts. Hit the likes, just to help us out this morning. Oh my gosh! But that's okay. We need a little excitement. We need a little excitement going on. Change it up.
So
a little
the show's
bit.
not quite like we adjusting the format this morning. It's a little sass glitch.
It's fun though. It's a little switch it up, huh?
I hope so, baby. I hope it's fun. I hope y'all having fun. That was crazy, right, Russ? Oh, man.
It's like, oh, my gosh, come back. We had so many people on the show. Why would it do this? No, you didn't miss anything because we stopped. We stopped because we were like, because it tells us we're not on anymore. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on?
There was some software challenges this morning, Tam.
I updated the software.
It's
you know what
good.
happens when you update the software.
It's all good.
You know. So exactly. Right. It spices it up a little bit. You're right. It spices it up a little bit.
My gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, baby, you want to give me some music? I'll do my floral session.
I'm scared to touch anything.
Hit the button.
Hit the button. You can tell he's from Atlanta, can't you? Hit the button.
Hey, look. I can go to the A right now, and if I see somebody like I went to high school with or somebody I know from back in the day, they'd be like, wow, what's up, man? I ain't seen you in like 20 years, man. Where you been? Where you been at?
Oh, no.
How your mama know? How your sister know?
If I go home, I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida. If I go home,
What
I'll
happens
be
when you
out.
go home?
People go, Tracy Ann. Tracy Wilson.
Oh, my
I'm like,
gosh.
oh, my God. Who is that?
That's somebody from back in the day.
Who is that? That's somebody from back in the day because I haven't been home around people that I grew up with in years. So Heath is a little different. He's in touch with everybody. I'm in touch with a few people from high school, and those are my hearts.
Yeah.
But I'm more in touch with people I went to college with.
Right.
High school was different for me.
It's all good, baby.
Okay. I wanted to get into.
But I was gonna do my flowers.
Oh, I'm
first.
sorry, baby. Let me give you some music. I downloaded some new music, guys. New music is coming.
Oh,
new
you're gonna give me some new
website is
music?
coming. Yeah, I'm trying to get everything
for the
done.
flowers?
Yeah, I'm trying to get everything done for September.
I'm saying like for right now though, for like at this moment.
No.
We're gonna get some old music, some new music, some transition music.
Let me see.
Some kind of music. Okay, I'll take that.
Okay.
I'll take that.
And just so you know, all of our
Flower
music,
game.
we get all of our music from Epidemic Sound.
We have Epidemic Sound link.
Yeah, it's usually in the description.
This is the time where we are breaking down the fresh floral cut for our audience.
Oh, this one's pretty, baby.
You know my man, he gets up on Saturday morning and bring the flower game to...
I think the lavender scents are gone.
No, I think what I did, I reused some of the lavender from last week for color, but I cut a few new ones too.
Oh, yeah,
so
this
it's still
one's good.
yeah, it
This
still
one's
got
good.
some smells. So we still got some smells.
I'm gonna make some lavender oils.
Yeah, we have so much lavender out in the yard.
Yeah.
So we got the rose game. The rose game is strong.
Oh my gosh, our roses are boom, boom. And you can actually hire somebody. Okay, I can't see. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'll do it from here.
Okay,
How about that?
you. Yeah, you can actually hire somebody to spray your yard to keep the deer away, y'all. Yeah, I pay people to keep the deer because I don't like them. They're cute and everything, but the deer around here are big. They've been here for generations. You said one of our neighbors told us they've been here for multiple generations, like 50 years, something crazy like that.
Smell this one right here. This one right here on the end. It's real aromatic too. It's different, right?
Yes, it's like a mint. It's like a mint almost. But yeah,
Flower
so
game.
the deer here were bold when we moved in. I guess the house had been empty for a minute, and when we showed up, they were like, "What are y'all doing here?" And we were like, I was making coffee one morning, and literally the deer was looking at me in the window. He was like looking in the window, and when I turned around and looked at him, he didn't run.
Because he live here.
Not anymore. He don't live here no more.
He live here in the neighborhood.
He don't live here no more.
Who are the people in your neighborhood?
It was weird. It was like I was standing making my coffee, and how you feel somebody looking at you, and I turned around. I was like, it's a deer looking at me in the window. He was like,
"What up?"
And he wouldn't move. And I was like, so they would come through like 3, 4, 5 deep. And I was like, this doesn't work. This does not work for me.
Well, really what you didn't like was the fact that they were eating all your roses.
I hated that.
The roses were like candy to them, apparently.
It was terrible.
They got the aroma. They got the little light taste. The deer, they love our roses.
Hated it.
So Tracy got the deer sprayer folk coming out to the crib. And now the roses are just proliferating in the yard. So, I mean, how many? That's probably like 2 or 3 dozen roses right there in that vase.
Oh, yeah. It's like boom. It's like an explosion of roses.
Yeah.
So they come out and it's all organic. It doesn't hurt them. It's just some kind of scent that they don't like.
Yeah. So they keep it
pushing.
pushing.
I forget what it's called, Deer Way or something like that. I don't know what it's called.
They keep it pushing.
Yeah. So one of the first things I wanted to say was during the pandemic, during the panini.
The panini. Tam called it the panini.
I know. I love that one, Tamara. We figured out where people were looking for cheaper places to live, and you go, well, Tracy and Heath, y'all live in the DMV.
Yep.
And I don't think that's one of the cheapest places to live. Booyah, we got something for y'all. I couldn't believe it when I saw this article. I was like, you mean to tell me there are a couple places in the DMV? Well, some of them, they're on the outskirts, but people are actually moving there. And the people that are moving there are the people that live in the DMV. So we rolled up to Baltimore last weekend.
Right.
It's just not that far. It's just not that far. So we didn't get any video because I was going to see a friend. So I didn't want to mix that. But the first one that they said is one of the cheapest places to live. Let me get this off the screen. It's Virginia Beach, Norfolk, and Newport News, as my husband would say.
Newport News. No, that's how people who are from there say it.
Oh.
I don't say it that way.
Okay. I only heard you say it that way.
Well, when I was saying it that way, I'm imitating my friends who are from that area who say it that way.
Okay, Virginia Beach. And guys, put your questions. Don't forget, we're answering questions.
Newport News.
Newport News. So Virginia Beach and Norfolk area, it's really growing. I think it's due to the coast. It's on the coast area.
Yep. And
it says Virginia, North Carolina. So that is another reason. I remember when we lived in North Carolina, it was easy to get up there. And it's if you look at this, top area people are searching from. Look at that. Baltimore, Washington, Arlington, DMV, y'all.
Yep.
They're like, I need to get up out of where I am. Let me get over here. Yep. The cost of living is 3% less than the national average.
That's crazy.
The median home value is $255,000 on a $70,000 income.
This is in Newport News you're talking about?
Yes.
Like Newport News, Virginia Beach area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a cool little area. It's changing a little bit. It's closer to the border of North Carolina. I will say it is not like living in the DMV.
Right.
It is not.
Yeah, it's definitely a different vibe.
Right. It says the area's cost of living is lower than the national average, and the median income is higher, almost $3,000 higher. And I think that's because of the proximity of being close to the DMV.
Yeah. You got some military influence there. You have some a lot of things that are connected to
the shipping, and the shipping,
and all of that there.
And it's not too far from Richmond either, so that's probably
it's
another
like,
reason.
like 2 hours from Richmond Drive, probably 3.5 hours to North Carolina.
Yeah,
to
but from
Raleigh,
here
anyway.
it's only
Raleigh.
150 miles. So that's the first quote unquote cheap places people are moving.
Yeah, I had some customers
that's
out
in
there,
this
and
area.
so I made that drive multiple times.
Okay.
And so from where we were living in Metro Raleigh to Richmond was like 2 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
And then if I were going out to the coast from Raleigh to this area, Newport News, it was about 3 hours, as I recall, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, depending on where you're going.
And
so yeah, definitely accessible.
And the second place, guys, is Salisbury, Maryland. It's closer to Delaware. That's why you see Delaware on there. Percentage of potential movers from outside. Almost everybody that's moving to Salisbury is from somewhere else. And the top place they're moving from is, of course, the DMV.
Right.
Okay, about 70% of those people are from the DMV.
Right.
The cost of living is 11.1% less than the national average. The median home value is at $244, $250.
Hey.
That's that number right there, which is just mind-boggling to me because I remember our first house, we were struggling to get to 120.
I was like, how much is it?
He wanted me to find a house in 1990.
We need to be under one.
He was like, I don't need 3 numbers. I need 2 numbers.
I need to be under one.
And I was like, no, baby, it's really, really hard to find and everything. So
I was like, there's all kind of houses out here for less than that.
And we were in Atlanta too. So it was a lot of houses, less than $100,000 at that time.
That's right.
But I could not find one that I wanted to live in.
They were there. They just weren't appealing.
Well, I showed them to you, and you didn't think they were appealing either.
Yeah, I was like,
So we had to go to 125. To think that the median home value now is $244,000, and people are happy with that.
Yep.
So you can see the median household income is $61,000. It's Salisbury. I looked on them. I didn't show you. We'll talk about these areas too. We'll do that. But it's about a 2-hour drive from here.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's about a 2-hour drive. But check this out. The train is a big deal here.
It is.
Train is a big deal. He's going to talk about that a little bit. So people are moving from this area to Salisbury. And I have had someone on the show ask about Salisbury.
Yeah. And we had some people ask about Virginia Beach area too.
Yeah, exactly.
We had a lot of questions.
Yeah, so those are places people are moving to that are cheaper. They're moving from this area to that area. And that's just something that we wanted to run by you and let you know is in the area.
Hey,
it's
we just sharing information. That's what we do.
Information. That's what we're doing here. But yeah, let's just say good morning.
Yeah,
so we're gonna redo our good mornings. Good morning, Tamara. Good morning, Ron. Our big super chatter. Don't forget to super chat. Ask us questions in the comments if you have any questions.
It's all good.
Good morning, Adam. Welcome.
What's
love
up,
that
Adam?
picture. I love that picture of Adam.
Adam, that whole picture right there, it just brings vibes. Just the picture itself, right? Adam's smile. I mean, he just like bursting off the screen. He got like the beach game going in the background, the ocean.
I know.
I love it.
Look at me. I'm in Florida. Aren't you jealous? Okay.
I'm in Florida and you're not.
That's what he says all the time, right? Good morning, Ron. There's Ron
my man
with that
Ron.
hat. That hat. Can't wait to meet you. Cannot wait to meet you. This is great.
He's the Tracy legend.
Yes. So, and then we've got Russ with the cute eyes. I love
My
this.
man Russ. What's good, Russ? Good morning.
So
Good
if you're
morning.
just now joining, guys, we had a little glitch this morning. We're a little bit behind, so
It's
the
all
show
good.
might go a little bit longer
all
today. If we have any questions, you want to put them in the bottom down there. Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring up was Heath went on a little road trip. Oh, it looks like it's bugging out again. Y'all just hang in there. Heath went on a little road trip this week. Actually, the work thing is weirding me out a little bit now, baby.
Yeah, because you have like the situations where, hey, we want you to come to the office, maybe one day a week or a couple days a week, even though we're not like back to full, you got to come to the office 3 days a week or whatever it is, right? And so,
they pushed y'all to January now, right?
The official word now is January.
Yeah, if you haven't caught the news, they also pushed student loans to January.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and so I'm in the office every now and then now. If there's some specific activity or there's a need for me to be in the office, or my management structure is there and something is happening, I'll go in.
Yeah, he goes in if something's happening.
Yeah,
for the most part.
But for the most part, I'm still working from home.
So you went to New York this week.
So
on the train.
There was some activity happening in New York, and it was merited enough for me to go up there. And so I had my son get up at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, he was so sweet because I can't see that well at night driving. It's a little weird for me.
So my youngest son took me to Union Station in D.C.
About 20 minutes, right?
It took me about 20 minutes to get there from my house, and I got on a 4:50 a.m. train. The first thing smoking is what the dude in the movie said. Malcolm X. I'll be out there the first thing smoking. I swear I'll be on that.
It's weird. My husband can remember like the craziest thing, the songs, lines from movies. He can remember.
Yeah, no, that was the other one, King of Harlem or whatever they call it, Queen of Harlem. Whatever.
What movie is that?
But anyway, so I went to New York on the first thing smoking. Train left at 4:50. I was in New York by what was it, 3? It took me like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Okay.
2 hours and 45 minutes, something like that. And I was in Penn Station. It was crazy. It was like still first thing in the morning, people still drinking coffee and you moving around, and it was just like, I dozed off, and then I looked up, and I was in.
Yeah, and we bring this up because it's kind of a part of lifestyle living here. You can go to New York, no issue whatsoever on the train.
Yep.
So when we talk about these outlying areas, don't look at it as, oh my gosh, I'm going to be stuck in traffic. Oh, it's going to be so. You've got the MARC train, and you've got the VRE, which is Virginia Railroad, and you've got MARC, and they go to the exurbs, is what we call them. So Salisbury is an exurb.
Yeah.
I think and it goes as far as Baltimore. It might go. I know people that have lived in Philly, y'all, and Delaware that come in DC every day. If you recall, our current president used to live in Delaware. He had 2 young boys, and he would literally ride the train every day back and forth to work.
I thought about him yesterday because when I was coming back from New York, we stopped in Wilmington. That was like one of the stops, and it was just like you riding the metro or any kind of like commuter train.
Yeah, so it was
like, hey, next stop Wilmington.
Yeah.
Next stop Baltimore.
Yeah.
Next stop, I was like, wow, this is crazy. So when I was going up, we stopped in Baltimore. I looked, as soon as we left Union Station, a few minutes later we was in Baltimore. People got on the train.
Yeah.
A few minutes later we were in Philly. A few minutes later it was crazy.
So you might ask yourself, why do people do that? Why do people live so far out? One, because it's affordable, but still work in the city. And the next conversation is going to tell you why. Because there's 25 of the cities with the highest paying jobs.
Okay.
Let's see what we are. We are number 4.
Okay.
So
bring the bag.
Washington, Arlington, Alexandria,
The ginger.
What the heck was that?
Chase made a new state.
Right. DC, Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia. The annual median wage is $60,000. I really, really think it's higher than that, guys. This was done last year, but I'd venture to say you probably wouldn't make less than $80,000 living here.
Yeah.
Okay. So government.
That's your main job.
Yeah, I could see that being 60. The unemployment rate. Do you all see how low that unemployment rate is for such a large area? And the poverty rate is lower. I do look at poverty rates for areas because in order to live above the poverty rate, you have to make a certain amount of money.
True.
So that's why I tell you guys a lot. Don't be afraid to move here. Whatever you're making, if you're moving from certain cities, more than likely, just think there's only 3 cities in this country that make a little bit more than than we do here.
Than the DMV.
Right. So it's only 1 of 4. There's only 4 that the median wage is $60,000, right?
Or higher.
And then or higher. So the average American, the poverty rate percentage in this country is 12.3%. This area is almost 5 percentage points lower than that, 7.5. Okay. So in relation, it's much lower during the panorama too.
Right.
So what you do need though is some type of education to get that higher.
Yep.
So if you don't have that formal extra education, it's going to be closer to the 50-60 range.
Right.
If you do, it's going to be much higher. I can tell you that right now.
Yep.
Right. And then, we've given you, what's going on?
I'm just moving closer.
Oh, and we've given you other thoughts on the young people that live here and how much they make. There's so many, but a lot of people here do hold a degree of some type, not necessarily that master's or their doctorate or anything like that, but most people here, 51.4, hold at least that bachelor's degree. So I'm sure that's what pushes it higher too.
Yeah. And if you don't have a degree, right, you got your trade, or you got your specialties, you have your certifications, you have whatever it is that you're doing in your particular space. So the point is that if you're living here, you can make a level of wage that you can be comfortable.
Exactly. And that's why people, so if you think about it, you have one of the highest wages, you're earning one of the highest wages in the country, but you can live far because the transportation system is efficient.
Right.
And it's really, really, it's really going to give you the lifestyle that you are seeking.
Yep.
So you have to think about it in that terms. It's like, okay, well, I want to live in the DC area, or I got this job offer in the DC area, but it's really expensive. Like you have coworkers that live as far as Fredericksburg, right?
Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Yeah.
There are people that live, out in Maryland. But yeah, I mean, you live, it's all about you and your particular situation, what you like, what you enjoy, what you're accustomed to, right? What your specific financial goals are. And so people make different decisions, and, you don't hate on people for their decisions. It's all about what works for you,
Right. Wait. Russell says he lives in Dover. Oh.
No, he lived in Dover.
Oh, he lived in Dover. Okay.
Yeah.
Before
Dover's nowhere from here, man. Right? It's like it's pretty cool going from DC to Delaware. You're like, wow, this is like 60, 70, 80 miles, whatever it is, and hour and a half is an hour and a half. Doesn't really matter where you are, right?
Right.
But yeah, put this note up that Ron has here. I want to speak to this for a second.
Okay, read it first.
And so Ron is saying, although the cost of living is high, the wages are high. So he's talking about this area in the DMV.
That's true.
But in Atlanta, the cost of living is increasing, but the wages are not.
Yeah.
And so that's a really interesting point that Ron is making here. And it reminded me of something that I heard the other day with respect to one of my colleagues. And what he said was really struck me. He said that, in other places, in New York and different places, he said you always hear about the side hustle. It's like, people are doing this thing, but like they're also doing this other cool thing.
Right.
And he was like, that's like everybody in New York, and I kind of feel like that's happening also in Atlanta now. It's like, yeah, I got a job, but I'm doing also this side hustle thing.
Well, you have to.
But what he was saying was that in DC or in the DMV, he was saying how he didn't hear that very frequently. He said here it's more like, hey, I work for the government, or hey, I have this business, or hey, I work for this place, and he hears so much less about what people are doing on the side, right? It's like, hey, I'm in politics, or I'm in, right? And so I thought that was a really interesting observation from someone who has only been living here for a short time, that he was seeing that as a trend. And so that kind of tracks with what Ron was alluding to there.
I recently helped a friend get on where I work, and she was telling me about her experience in Atlanta. She's lived in Atlanta most of our work life. We've known each other almost over 10 years. We've worked in the same tech industry for almost 10 years together. And she said when she got let go of her last job, how tech is, it's constantly rotating. She had a really hard time finding another job in Atlanta.
Yep.
And she got interview after interview after interview after interview. And she said she would get all the way through, and right at the end, they'll be like, we went a different direction. And if you know this person, she is high caliber, high producing, just the top cream of the crop. And I was like, what is going on? And she said, it's Atlanta. And not
to MBA too.
Yeah, and not to bash Atlanta, but something has switched there. Something has definitely switched there.
Atlanta's my hometown, for y'all that don't know.
Yeah, we love Atlanta. We have friends that live in Atlanta. The people that we know that are doing well in Atlanta are entrepreneurial. My brother runs his own business. We have other friends who are attorneys. They're fine. But everybody else is on the struggle a little bit. And they're doing, we know doctors, people like that. They're fine. It's almost like it's become like a Florida. It's really, really interesting. But not to say anything bad, but the difference between that area and this area is you can do both here. You can be a full-fledged, full-blown, super-duper entrepreneur here very successfully. And you can have a great job. I think that's what we love about this area because we've been both. We've been entrepreneurs and we've had these super jobs.
Yeah.
So it's like to be in an area where you can do both, I think is huge. And few areas are like that. You know, Atlanta's become like a mini Hollywood. So you have a lot of West Coasters living there now, a lot of movie stars, a lot of music stars, and it's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
It's changed a little bit.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I know the folks that work for Delta, for Coke, for Home Depot, for like from an executive perspective or in these kind of corporate jobs. And they're doing very well too.
Yeah, they are.
But it's like anything else, right? You know, when you're sort of in corporate America and it comes with certain things and, you know, sometimes that really impacts people, especially people of color, right? When you're navigating these corporate environments. And I think that that's why you see more and more with people kind of doing entrepreneurial type of things, and you know, it's a really interesting dynamic. But I said that to say that you have those elements that you have in DC, in Atlanta, and other places. But I thought that was really interesting that my colleague made that comment and really can kind of see that disparity in terms of how people are describing what they're doing.
Yeah, I think here in the DC area, what I see more of is people having hobbies, like outdoor activities, and people here travel a lot. There's more of a lifestyle generated here. You're creating a lifestyle, I guess you could say, as opposed to, okay, I don't do this job anymore. Now I got to go do this job. There are people here that do things on the side. It's just a different flavor. It's a different level to it. There are people that have businesses on the side of their job and things like that. But for the most part, it's not a needed thing. It's more of a, I want to do this.
Right.
So it's very different. Good morning, Lydia. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Lydia?
Good morning. Good
to see you.
Keisha, good morning, family.
What's up, Keisha?
I love the emojis.
The heart hits.
Yeah. So the other thing, guys, mid-roll, hit that like button.
All right.
Hit that like button. If you like what you're hearing today, it really helps us with the algorithm.
Yeah. Tell some other folk too.
Tell other people.
Share us out. Bring some people to the show. Let them know what's going on. They're not just talking about the DMV, right? They're talking about things that can help you regardless of where it is that you're going, regardless of things that you might be doing. There's some life coaching that's happening. You know, Tracy and I work in big tech. Tracy and I are marriage counselors. We have 4 adult children, so you know we can help people around parenting.
Hold up. We got a super chat. Super chat.
Oh,
super chat.
My man Ron Hitson, the Heath and Tracy TV legend. My man Ron.
Okay, so from Ron says, for people considering a career change, and there are a lot of people doing that right now. This is a great time to do it. How do you guys make the transition to from non-tech to tech, and what was our thought process? Oh my gosh, this is such a good question. This is such a good question. So many people are doing this right now, and just as a reminder, you can have a Talk Tech with Heath, in the link in the description, or just DM us and we'll send you the link. And you got to get on his calendar and things like that. But he's been doing that with a few people that have come to our show, and the thing about that is it was pure fate. I don't know another way to put it. We were both real estate agents during the Great Recession.
So Trace and I were 100% commissioned in our house for like 7 years. With 4 children.
It was fun times.
When I tell people that, their eyes get like this. Wow.
Private school.
Like you guys must have been doing it.
Yeah.
So when the Great Recession hit, it was like a whole nother thing, right? Because we were 100% commission, and because we had all these people in our house, we immediately on the front end of the recession were like, something's different. This is different than like being in between the commission. Like, oh, I got these 4 deals over here. Different. Tracy's got 2 deals over here. And it's going to be fine in another 30 days, and we're going to have like a flood of cash. It wasn't that.
No.
It was like...
It was like you go from, big checks. You go from $20,000, $30,000 months to $5,000 months. $10,000 months.
We were like, yo,
this is a problem.
I think we might need to figure something out.
This is a problem.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting let go.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot get into what that was about,
Yep.
but I
Yep.
worked for a developer
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in the Atlanta area
Yeah.
that was going through it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't say much more than that.
But I
I'm
think
kind of
let me finish the story, babe. So the long story short is Tracy and I sort of fell into tech, right? We went out and we essentially leveraged our sales skills and the skills that we had,
Right.
and ran into an opportunity, right? So that's the kind of what it's a preparation meets meeting opportunity.
yeah.
And so Tracy and I just brought our sales skills and talent to an opportunity that people were looking to fill some roles for from a tech perspective. So the way that we fell into it is slightly different than how you approach it today.
Yeah, totally different. We went to a job fair.
Yeah, yeah.
We went to a job fair. The line was out the door. We were like, what is this? This is not good. And I don't think we'd ever been to a job fair in our entire lives.
No.
And we went to a job fair. It was 1,000 people. And Cisco was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know what they do.
I seen that name though.
And I hear they pay good. So let me get over here to
Let's
this
go
booth.
ahead. Let's get in this line.
So we just got in that line. I don't think we really talked to many other people, and we got our
that's
our
hilarious.
second and our third interviews, and
Yeah.
that's how we. And they literally taught us everything we know.
Yeah, yeah. But if you were doing it today, back to your point, right? You know, they're just depending on what your discipline is, how you're looking to be a technical person, a salesperson, a product person,
It's about skills.
project management. You have kind of some. The idea is that you want to dive in and get these certifications, right?
Yeah.
Get an understanding of the business and the industry. Dive into those certifications, understand what's needed, what companies are looking for, and then network, man. You can just go, And so those are the kinds of things that I really kind of do a deep dive in with people and kind of plot their process and how you can think through it and how you can really create some actionable results from kind of 1, 2, 3 in steps.
So it's more of, you have to switch your mindset first, because it's a switch. It's not an easy place to fall into. It is a very hot place to be right now. There is there's an extreme shortage, and because of the new immigration laws, they're no longer able to just bring people over to fill these jobs, which was happening. A lot of people were coming from India,
Right.
and more and more I see us.
Yep.
Black people, young black men, young black women in this arena, and I think it's something that we need to push in our communities,
Yeah.
because
So much opportunity.
so much opportunity. I cannot explain to you guys.
They're constantly looking for people. They're constantly looking for talent. And I wanted to double click onto one other thing Ron asked here. Ron asked about.
We got another super chat.
Hold that thought, Ron. Hold that thought. Oh, my man Russell. Russ, we appreciate you, man.
Thank
Russ
you
is
so
an
much,
OG on the
guys.
show.
Yes,
Shout out to my man
yes.
Russell, also a veteran. We always appreciate Russell
for
and
your
his service
service.
and just doing what you do, baby. Thank you so much, Russ. I wanted to double click on what Ron was asking, another component of his question, and he talked about thought process.
Okay.
And so when I was in Atlanta, Ron, once I got a taste of tech, I said to myself, this is where I want to be.
Right.
This is what I want to do. And what clicked for me was that although I am not going to go to medical school and become a doctor, I have the capacity to learn. And so what I learned about tech was it's just something else to learn. It's just like learning a new language. It's like just understanding the industry and how I fit into it and that I can do it. And so even though I did not have exposure into tech before I got into it, I was a realtor, I was in real estate, Trace and I did hospitality, I worked for Marriott, my communications degree, all of these different things, right? When we went on our coffee bar. And so essentially, they say that you are the sum total of your life experiences.
Right.
And so the idea was that once I tasted tech, I was like, dude, I want to stay in tech. And so that was one of the reasons that we ended up leaving Atlanta, was because it had some elements of it, but it didn't really have a thriving tech community at that time. It's beginning to bustle in Atlanta. It's beginning to bubble.
Because it sees where it's
beginning
going.
to bubble up, I think, to an extent. And so, but at that time, this was like 15 years ago, right? And so the only thing that I could see was either I needed to go to Silicon Valley, or Tracy and I did this homework and we found out that Raleigh, Durham, and the whole Research
It's
Triangle
like
Park
East Coast Silicon Valley.
was like all of this opportunity and 200 plus companies that are doing all this cool tech stuff. So I was like, yo, wow. So like, even if it doesn't work out with Cisco,
Right.
this company's over there and this company's doing this and this company's doing that. So there's like plenty of opportunity.
And that's actually what happened.
Yeah.
We got those jobs. We moved through, and it was during the Great Recession. We had pretty good. Well, I had a pretty good paying job.
Yeah, you did.
We went through the struggle a little bit, but
Struggle's real.
the struggle was real. The struggle was real, but we ended up in North Carolina, as you guys know, in tech. And what we found was, even if those jobs were falling through, there were still so many other tech jobs in the area that we could latch onto. We never went through that we went through in Atlanta.
Right.
So that's something good about tech. It's like if you're in an area where there are a lot of tech jobs, it's like a little carousel. It's like a little carousel, and they pick from each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Oh,
you see that. So,
wait a minute.
Adam Shelton. Shout out to Adam Shelton. Adam Shelton has been rocking with us for a few weeks now. We appreciate you, Adam. Always beautiful to get the energy and the vibes from you. And I think Adam told us one time that he works at BCC, I think. So that's why
wow.
whenever I see Adam, I always think about the HBCU love
right.
and just sending the good vibes out. So thank you so much, Adam. We
What
appreciate
you know about
that.
the classic, Adam?
Adam can speak on the classic. I know he know a little bit.
So let's
He
get
know a
Adam's
little-
question.
I know he knows
All
a
right.
little bit.
Of all the places you've lived or visited, which place is your favorite? Oh my gosh.
Lived or visited? Wow. Okay. So, favorite place to live? DMV.
I would say this is our favorite place
Yeah.
to live.
Favorite place we visited? Wow. So, I've been to South Korea, which was completely dope. I was like a kid. I was with my parents, but that was a really cool visit for me. And but just like from a regular perspective, South Florida, man. It's not.
I
It's
love
different.
South-
It's different for Tracy because she grew up in West Palm, Miami, that whole scene, right? But growing up in Atlanta, I just never spent that much time in South Florida. An occasional trip to Disney World or something like that. But man, I go down to West Palm, man. It is just beautiful. Everywhere you look is gorgeous, and palm trees and water and vibes and canals behind people's houses, and you jump in the boat and roll down, and the beautiful
Intercoastal.
cars, and everything is fly and sunny, and seafood is incredible, and I could go on, man. Right? It's like some people feel differently about South Florida, or whatever, but for me, it is just always dope, and I think. So that's me. But you got anything else?
Yeah, so we're not big travelers.
we don't
We're
do a
more
lot of travel.
No, we're more lifestyle type of people, and I think that's a combination of the kind of lifestyle we like to live and where we live, and the fact that we have 4 children or had 4 children during those like times when people travel and everything. We married young, and so we haven't been big travelers as far as going everywhere.
Okay,
But,
look, put a pin in that for a
Okay.
second. Let me say this.
okay.
When I graduated from high school, your parents do take out like an ad in the back of the yearbook or whatever, and they give you some kind of like
Yeah.
bidding, and you were my parents took out this ad in my yearbook, and that thing said, "You are the trips we could not
Yeah,
take."
That's us guys.
So the point is, it's like we have lots of friends that are globetrotters and move around and all kind of cool spaces,
We live
right?
vicariously through them.
But I, with my queen here, have poured ourselves financially into the
Our
4
kids,
adult
yeah.
children that live in my house, and so that's another piece of it. But second half of life, me and Queen Tracy might be out there and
we might be out in the streets.
out there and getting some stamps on them passports, But yeah, so that's. I just wanted to give you that caveat and some additional context.
So, Florida for me is the end all that be all. I did grow up there, but I love my favorite place to live is the DMV, and I love visiting Florida. So, I think in a few years we'll probably have a home here and a home there because they're our 2 favorite places. I've been to the West Coast. I think it's overrated, to be honest with you.
Overrated. Little basketball game on Saturday morning, the college game.
I've been.
I haven't spent any time in LA though, so I definitely want to go check out LA. But no, but in terms of like living, yeah, we're kind of East Coast people. We're kind of Southern people.
We're very Southern people,
and so I think that's where the kind of the DMV comes in, and so a lot of people forget that the DMV,
South.
DC, Maryland, Virginia is below the Mason-Dixon line.
Yes.
And so
it had
there is
it had slavery.
There is like
Jim
a
Crow,
Southern vibe piece
yeah.
that's here that resonates with us. So I think that's certainly part of it.
Yeah, people are different here in the South.
Like my people, I got people in Connecticut. A lot of family members up there. You
it's
you
nice
get to
up
New
there.
York
Just,
and you
I
get
wouldn't want to live there.
It's a different vibe. But let me say something else about that area while we're there. One of the things that has become more and more evident to me as we've come back to this area is that Boston, New York, DC, Baltimore is becoming like this hub of
like
talent. It's like a regional hub of talent and business, and you'll continue to see people pulling from this pool. I have so many colleagues that live in New York that have moved here, or vice versa. I have colleagues that have moved from Boston, and you'll see kind of like the businesses kind of moving around in that kind of that northeast circle. And so I just wanted to call that out for people who are looking at the DMV from a work perspective or adjusting your life,
even a business perspective.
Yes.
Think about the if you take that and put it in a circle, think about how many more people you have to market to that are in close proximity to you, and how many people are moving here.
Yeah, and that's back to the conversation that we were having at the beginning of the show when we were talking about the train, and just kind of like some of these revelations and things that I'm seeing is just like it's all basically becoming one area.
It is.
Right, and so the transportation options will just continue to get better. We'll continue to you'll have an ease of use that will continue to evolve as it relates to moving around and navigating these different areas. But Boston, New York, DC, Baltimore, lots of opportunity, y'all. Just wanted to put that out there.
Good morning, Reality Doll.
Reality Doll in the building.
We lost. You didn't lose us. We lost you. It was one of those days.
Reality Doll in the house. Shout out to another one of our regulars. So,
and she says,
"We appreciate you. We appreciate you."
How long have you been in tech, Heath?
I went from real estate into tech in 2010. 2000.
No, 8. 6.
8.
6.
I think, but you got in before
I got in before, yeah.
So you were like what, 2 years ahead of me, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
8 to 10.
What's the math? What's the math on that?
I've been in 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been like 12, 13 years for me, Reality Doll. Yes.
Yeah. And then she also asked, what about older people changing in tech? Do it. I have to tell you a story really quick. So as you guys know, we lease our home. We have an executive lease on our home because we.
You sing. You talking over my song?
Oh, I'm sorry.
But that's all right. Go ahead.
Age ain't nothing. Okay. Shout out to Aaliyah. So we had a gentleman come to our home one day that he checks the house every 6 months for the property company, and he was totally different than when he did our orientation. When he did our orientation, oh my gosh, he was so jovial and so happy and everything. And this guy is probably close to 60 years old. Just loving his job. Everything is so great. Well, the property company changed hands.
Yep.
And he came to the house 6 months later. Y'all, I thought somebody died.
Yeah.
I had to ask him, okay, what's wrong? Because I've only met you once, and yeah, I was with you for a couple of hours, but you are a different person right now. And are you okay? It was like I was concerned. And he went into this how his job wasn't, it was horrible now and all this stuff. And he talked to him for about 5 minutes about the things that he could do. And let me tell you something, guys. It's such a shortage in tech right now. They don't care what age you are. My 19-year-old son, who is moving along, right? He could go get an $80,000 job in tech right now. One of our friends, one of my daughter's best friends' boyfriend, I know that's a long thing, came to our house for our July 4th party a few weeks ago. And he spent time with my son. And he told us later on, he said, I don't know if you know this, but the basic skill sets that your son has, he could get $200,000 income right now at 19 years old. It's about skills. It's not about age.
Yeah.
It's not about experience. It's not about degrees. Brennan ain't got no degree. Brennan graduated from high school last year.
Yeah.
But because of his skill set within tech, he is valuable.
Right. So really, you can play off your interest, or you can sort of align what it is that you want to move into with what the need is. I know right now there are probably 1 million to 2 million cybersecurity roles that are unfilled right now. You get some specialty, some
many
information,
guys.
certifications around cybersecurity.
Yeah, medicine, marketing.
Yep.
Communications. It's all aligned to tech in some way, shape, or form. They have a job for you.
Okay, let me double click on that. Regardless of what company you have, what company there is right now, it is a tech company.
It is.
Marinate on that.
Adam says, yes, I'm BCC, working in entertainment ticketing with the Classic. If y'all ain't Floridian, you don't know nothing about the Classic.
Adam in the know.
When I was in high school, people would skip school to get to the Classic. Okay.
Classic is real talk.
Diamonds and lip gloss. Okay, yes, with Devereaux on there. Yes, girl, you
Can't
feeling my vibe right now.
I can't even handle it.
That's my kids don't even know who this is. I had to explain to them who this avatar is. I was like, what? You don't know who this is? Good morning and welcome to the show.
Hey, Diamond.
Okay, so it says since the COL and NC is lower, cost of living, if you guys don't know what that is.
Okay, I see you, Diamond, throwing out the
lower.
acronym.
Oh, Diamond is on my level. Yes, girl, yes.
Get there. Y'all come up. Get to Diamond's level.
Since the cost of living in North Carolina is lower than Atlanta, are the salaries in North Carolina lower?
Okay.
No.
First thing is cost of living is not lower than Atlanta.
It's a little bit, but it's changing. It's changing with a rapidness.
No, because when you get to Metro Raleigh, I don't know Charlotte's scenario quite as intimately, but in Metro Raleigh, housing costs are probably more than Atlanta because
that's true.
There's less available land,
but
and
rent
development
is still
opportunity.
lower in Raleigh.
That's true. But all of it's changing in real time, right?
It's changing so fast.
But yeah, so I think that in terms of you're looking at kind of total ROI, it really is what Diamond's question is, right? If I live in North Carolina and I know what the salaries are, is that a better scenario than living in Atlanta and understanding what the salaries are? And so for us, I think the what we found was that North Carolina was better, and that's why we ended up living in North Carolina for 10 years. Although it was not our favorite place to live, it was really good for our careers, for our children, for our lifestyle, the stability that we were looking for versus how we felt like we were really struggling with that treadmill in Atlanta.
Yeah, there's a lot of tech talent in North Carolina, and you got Apple going there now. We knew about that when we lived there. But just so you know, Apple pays probably, when you think about the FANG is
Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google.
Right. When you think about FANG companies, everybody wants to work for a FANG company because that's where all the money is.
Or a FANG-like company.
But Apple, out of all those FANG companies, Apple pays the least. And I think that's why they chose North Carolina. They didn't want to change that.
Yeah. But they still pay more than a lot of
they pay more than a
companies.
regular company. But when you're in tech, you're like, wait a minute, you getting paid $80,000 a year more than me? That's about what I've heard. I've heard people go to Apple and come right on back to Cisco. They'd be like, they not paying over there. So it's important to note that there is a hierarchy, which is so crazy because they have more money than everybody. I don't understand that, but they're building a beautiful campus in North Carolina, and they chose North Carolina.
$1 billion, I think.
Yeah,
$1 billion campus.
It's going to be right
3,000
behind
jobs.
NetApp's campus. So if you go to RTP, you got it. But I think back to your question. Yes, cost of living in North Carolina, but the salaries are actually higher than Atlanta. Okay.
Yes. But
Knowledge Humanity.
What's up, Knowledge?
Florida
Welcome
is
back.
nice,
Welcome
but
back.
I love the change of weather we have in the Northeast.
Yeah,
you
that's
are
real
so
talk.
right there.
That's real talk.
As a person that grew up in Florida, I don't care. It's just, Whenever I go through winter, guys, I always say
Winter is so unnecessary.
it's so unnecessary. And when you move to Florida, check this out.
Uh-huh.
It becomes winter.
It does.
When you hit that, when that degrees changes, you're like, where's my fur coat?
Look, Tracy and I spent Christmas in Miami one year because Tracy's mom
Well,
was
we
living in Miami.
used to go down there every year for Christmas.
Tracy's mom was living in Miami, in Miami Shores in North Miami.
Beautiful area.
So it was like 65 degrees on this particular day, and it was like blustery, right? So it was 65 degrees, the sun was out, and the wind was blowing. And we were on Biscayne Boulevard like the day after Christmas.
It was cool. It was nice and cool.
This woman walked across, she strolled across Biscayne Boulevard like Diamond.
Dominique Devereaux.
Like Diamond's avatar.
Dominique Devereaux.
With a full-length mink coat on. It was 65 degrees.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, girl, I know it's cold.
Wintertime in Florida.
So well, my dad is a lifelong Floridian. He's only lived a few other places.
He is Florida man.
He is, yeah, my dad. Oh, gosh. My dad is Florida man, guys. Yeah. We could tell you some stories. But anyway, my dad was in corporate America for years, worked for a Fortune 50 company. Yeah, decades. He was a leader all across the world, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So he always says to me, I'll come visit you all when the chill passes. He calls it the chill.
The chill.
I'm like, Daddy, that's 6 months. Because he don't play. He only coming up here in the summertime because the rest of it is cold. So it's a change of weather to Floridians, just so you know. Adam says, yeah, HBCU, BCC, and yes, the classic. I can see what I can do. Ooh, tickets to the classic. Ooh, child party in between Howard Homecoming and that. I don't know.
You might have twisted my arm. Right?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. You are most welcome, God. You know? You know. Okay. Love me some Dominique Devereaux. Russell, yes, another super chat. Woo!
Russell, my man Russ. Shout out to all the veterans in the building.
Yes. So Russell asks, are there tech companies that are willing to hire people with no experience and willing to train?
Yes and no, Russ. So I would say for you specifically, right, because you are a military veteran, companies are always looking aggressively to help veterans, right? And so a lot of companies have initiatives around veterans, and they do have a plethora of training programs out there. And so you, if I were you, I would maybe sort of understand what it is that I wanted to pursue, which area was most interesting to me, get a certification or two in that so that they can see your proactive approach to what it is that you're doing. And then really nail your interview, and you can get into one of those companies, and then they'll train you from there so that you'll see the elevation in your income and such.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now, Reality Y'all says, my friend is a techie. He has been with his company for over 15 years. That's great.
Asking for a friend.
He's nervous about moving because of his comfort level with his company, huge salary, his age gap. He's afraid to move. Woo, been there, done that.
Okay, first of all, we operate in faith, not fear. So tell them you need to get on board.
From fear, guys. I was telling my son about this the other day. Get away from the fear. The fear is going to hold you back. The fear is going to keep you down. The fear is going to have you doing things that you should not be doing.
Right. So that's the first thing. Second thing, can you put that back up, baby? The second thing is...
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Nervous about moving and is comfortable with his company. Well, you know, it's a lot of companies out there.
There's so many companies.
Right. So if it doesn't pan out with his company, then, you know, you want to have your other options on deck, right? And this is what I was saying earlier about when Tracy and I were doing the analysis on leaving Atlanta in preparation to go to North Carolina 15 years ago, or however long it was, right? People looking at us like we had two heads.
Y'all gonna leave Atlanta?
Y'all leaving Atlanta? What is going on?
And you going to North Carolina?
North Carolina. But if you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
And so the point I wanted to make was that wherever it is that he's going, right, you want to kind of think through, well, what are the other options, right? If this doesn't work out, then I have this company, I have this company, I have this skill, I have this skill. What are the trends in the marketplace, right? So there are lots of pro things to his scenario that he could be considering. And I think that when you have this search for talent, especially in today's environment, right, where more and more companies are kind of grappling with this whole work from home and how is it a hybrid thing? Is it full work from home? They don't want to really go at people too sideways because people are like, hey, y'all doing it this way. I'm gonna go over here to this company because I can work full virtual or whatever it is, right? So you also want to consider that in terms of how things are evolving and what's most important to him. But in terms of fear, if you have technical talent,
no fear.
You don't need to have any
Literally.
fear.
I'm going to tell you what broke my fear. I was very much like your friend. I worked for Cisco for 12, 13 years. I was making a lot of money and couldn't shake the where am I going to get this lifestyle? Where am I going to get this work from home situation? Where am I going to get this kind of money? And I went on this app called Blind. And you can download it from the internet. It is a free app.
BLIND.
All you have to do, BLIND. All you have to do is download it.
You gotta put your email in.
You gotta put in your work email. That's all you gotta do is put in your work email.
Yep.
And the rules of the game are: if you ask a question, you have to say where you work and how much you make before you ask your question. Let me tell y'all something.
But I just wanted to caveat that, right? But you are using like a username or a pseudonym or something, right? So people don't know that you're you.
No, it's totally anonymous.
So you have to put in a legitimate work email to be allowed to be on the app.
Yeah.
And then once you're on the app, you create your own username. So it can be whatever, right? It can be diamonds and lip gloss. But the point is that once you get on there, now you can engage with people from various companies. Hey, I'm thinking about this company over here for this particular job.
Ask questions.
Do you know how this happens? Do you know their process? Can you help me understand X, Y, and Z, so and so, so and so? And then if you're also providing value around maybe your experience and your companies, so then you can really get some good juju from that.
And what I realized when I was on that app is how underpaid I was.
Right. Right.
I was mad. I was up until like 2 a.m. y'all looking through this.
Hey, look at this. Did you see this? Did you see what these people making out here?
These people were complaining about making 180, y'all. That's all they're paying me.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so upset. I have 3 years experience.
Yep.
It was literally a light shown into the majority's world.
And that's another thing that I wanted to double click into, right? Especially for people who
they don't operate in fear. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Right. Especially for people who are a little bit older, like Trace and I, in terms of back in the day, you had some fear about different things, like, oh, I'm only at this level, oh, I'm only being paid X, right? They have new laws around that, and people literally cannot ask you what are you making now?
Don't ever.
Or what did you? That's not a part of the conversation. You either qualify for the role that you're going after and it pays X, Y, and Z, or you're not, right? And so just keep that in mind. That
but tell him to remove the fear of reality, dog.
Yeah. So I was just trying to share that I used to have that mental block too. Well, I'm only making this, so how can I go for this job, or it pays so much more, or whatever. That is don't let that enter into your mindset.
And research it.
Yeah.
Research. There's so many. There's Glassdoor. There's Salaries. There's just so many places you can go to research it.
Do your homework. Absolutely.
So Diamond and Ligo says, thanks. Preparing my presentation argument for a raise. I work remote, but I am shooting for a new position.
Okay, go ahead,
yes,
girl.
that's what I'm talking about right there.
Bring it up.
And do your research. Figure out what you want to get paid and get it.
Right.
And if you can't get it there, the best way to do that, and this is what a lot of them do when I see on Blind, is they'll actually apply for another job, get the other job, have the offer letter.
Or multiple jobs.
Multiple jobs. Okay. It's crazy. They apply from and they take all multiple offers and they say, I'll go to the highest bidder.
I got this for this.
Jobs are literally trying to outbid one another to get these people.
It's like
this is where we are.
It's like in relationships, right? Everybody wants something that somebody else got.
Is it like relationships?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm saying like there's an old adage that like if you are a man and you wear a wedding ring and you moving around.
Oh Lord, this is a man thing, y'all.
You're gonna catch somebody's eye because they figure out, oh, okay, so you must be legit. You must be some. But anyway,
I don't know about that one.
All right, I'm just showing you the analogy now. The
I
point
know,
is
but that's
that
a man analogy.
one of the things that happens when you are applying to roles, right? So here's the example. I'm applying to an Amazon job, and they say, So who else are you talking with?
They do. It's like part of the question.
Oh yeah, well I'm.
If you say I ain't talking to nobody,
I'm moving along in the process with Google.
Your value just went
Yeah,
down.
I do have an offer from Facebook, and so I'm
They
really
don't
looking
know.
to complete the.
They don't know. Say
Right.
that. Say it.
That impacts.
So when you put that in there, say
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to, I am moving along with,
Mm-hmm.
I am thinking about an offer from, and you can actually show them that other offer to get a better offer.
Yep.
They looking for it.
Just
All
saying.
right,
Just
Keisha,
saying.
I have a 17-year-old that I'm trying to nudge into the tech world when he graduates. What should he major in?
That's a really good question, Keisha. And so there are a plethora of answers. The short answer is that it really doesn't matter.
No.
That's the first answer, right? Because back to Trace's earlier point, that is really more about the skills
set.
than it is about the major. Now, if he's wired to be tech, if he's wired for software engineering or something along those lines, then put him in engineer. If he likes that stuff, he likes the code, he likes math, he likes science. That's his STEM. His STEM is his thing, or STEAM is another one, right?
What's STEAM, baby?
Yeah, so that's
Arts.
Yeah, when you put arts in there.
Arts.
Right, so it's
we paid for a child's
science,
education to major
technology.
in music.
Yeah.
And when I heard about the way she could make money, I'm so sorry, baby.
No, you good, man. You good. Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
But back to Keisha's question with relation to tech. Like I know a girl who interned at my last company. She was a psychology major, and she's started interning, and she loved some of the technical things that we were doing around cloud and hybrid cloud, and she decided that she wanted to be a solutions engineer. I was like, wow, girl, you would be a phenomenal salesperson.
And she did it.
But it clicked with like the way her brain was wired. So, your son could major in business, right? But then he starts lining up certifications in different tech spaces or cloud spaces, and he's still very appealing to the companies. So I would say that you got some latitude there.
All right. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss is a great book for those considering negotiation raises.
Yeah, I have that one on Audible. I have not gone through it yet, but I've had multiple people recommend that book, and it definitely is on my list.
Is it a mindset book, baby?
It is a mindset book.
I like that.
Yeah, it is a mindset book.
I'm all about mindset, guys.
Shout out to Care 007, regular
Care,
on the
what's
show.
up? What's up, OG? Atlanta's a great city, but there's life after Atlanta. DMV, here I come. Thank you. Thank you.
Ron
There
gets
is
it.
so much life after Atlanta. We didn't
Ron
know.
gets it.
We get it. We get it. So important to ask what you're worth, guys.
Yep.
So important.
Speak
Go
on it.
there. Don't have
Speak
any
on it.
fear. Speak on it. I remember when Heath got his call from AWS and they were like, we want you. We want to recruit. They were recruiting him. I said, baby, I've been on Blind, by the way. And so we knew what to ask for. And there's a rumor out there that AWS does not pay well. Well, it's a lie. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Don't ever believe the rumors. Don't ever believe the rumors. And he just threw his number out there. She was like, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. You will. Now, I threw that number out there to somebody recently, and they were like, ooh, girl.
So that
But
wasn't
I
your
was
spot.
being for real. And that means I wasn't supposed to be there because I wouldn't have been happy with less.
Yep.
So you have to be willing, And is that Blind app only for tech?
I don't think so.
So it's not only for tech.
But it's a lot of tech
It's a
people
lot
on
of
there.
tech people on there.
Yeah, but try it
But
out. Like
a lot of the job, so it's company. It's the companies
company
that are on there.
specific.
But go check it out. It just doesn't hurt to go check it out.
It's company specific. So
Yeah.
so even though you might be looking at it through kind of a medical and healthcare lens, I
Right.
think that company specific information would probably give you some additional value, right? Because hey, tell me about Humana or this particular company or this healthcare company, right? And so you can get some insight into what those parallels are, and then you can probably derive some things that you can apply to the things that you're considering. So definitely check it out.
Now, Reality Doll has a question around Super Chat. What all information is shared when you use Super Chat? None. You put in the information you want. They would go by the name you have and move like that. We don't deal with, what's it called? We'll have to look for other ways for you guys to support the channel. Right now, it's just Super Chat. I'm
Yeah.
looking into it. We're not Cash App fans because we are in tech.
Yeah. We are looking at maybe spinning up a community, and there's some other ways.
Yeah, there's some other ways that
bring
you'll be
some
able to support the
additional-
channel.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to, don't worry about it. It's not that. It's
Yeah.
not that important. Don't even go there.
It's all good.
Kara, it's a book. It's a book that talks about mindset and action. Okay, great. So we'll definitely keep that in mind.
Mindset
You
is
are
so important.
So welcome, Keisha.
Absolutely, Keisha.
And yeah, definitely gets it. So off topic. Nothing is off topic here.
Because you can ask us anything, Lydia.
You can ask us anything, Lydia. But what do you think 2 weeks is a good? Okay, do you think 2 weeks is a good time frame to relocate for a role? Oh yeah.
Ooh. Oh wait. So I think Lydia's question is, do you think 2 weeks is a good time frame?
Well, I mean, when we
so
moved here.
so when I took my role, they gave me 3 weeks to move. I asked what was the maximum, and they said 5 weeks. So I think what Lydia is alluding to is, hey, if I'm living in California and I'm taking a job in Northern Virginia, is 2 weeks a good time, right? And so for
That's
if,
rough.
If that were the question, I would say extend it as long as possible to give you time to relocate, assimilate in your new environment, right? Kind of get your bearings, understand this and that. So I would say I would ask for a little more. Right?
Are they paying for if they're paying for relocation fees? If they're paying for corporate housing?
But we're talking about time, right? Just the time to tie off what it is that you're doing where you are.
I need more than 2
to get
weeks.
to. That's what I'm saying, baby. That's why I'm trying to. That's why I'm trying to talk about it aloud. Think aloud about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would ask for a little more if it were possible, Lydia. That's how I would approach it.
Yeah, we had 5 weeks. But
yeah. So they told me
Panorama gave us.
They told me 3 weeks,
Indefinitely.
and we ended up. They ended up giving me 5 weeks to go from North Carolina to Arlington.
You asked.
Because I asked.
It was It was part of the renegotiation.
Yeah.
Okay, Calvin. Good morning, Calvin.
What's up, Calvin?
How do you feel about using a headhunter for new positions when you're moving? I tried to use a couple of the big ones, and they couldn't help me.
That's a very good question, Calvin. So I would say a couple things. One is maybe look at some opportunity for internship, or I would look for companies who are looking for new college graduates. Right, because at the end of the day, just like what we're talking about, is that they're always looking for talent, and anytime you can find young talent, that's always appealing to companies, right?
How
because
do you know Calvin's young?
He's standing there holding his degree from where he just graduated from.
Okay,
Unless that's his son, right?
Exactly. We don't know, but I'm saying
put that back up, baby.
Okay.
Put that back up there. So,
I was like,
assuming that Calvin
wait.
is a younger person, looking at his picture here.
Okay.
Then he looks to me like he is a recent college graduate.
Okay.
And so if you are a recent college graduate, you are open to training programs that various companies have, especially in the tech space, right?
What about our friends that we use? What about somebody like them?
Our friends. Oh, yeah.
What's their? They're not.
No. They're
oh, yeah,
more
he just graduated 2019.
Right.
Ah, thank you. But we about to get in an argument.
I know y'all y'all cannot even envision Trace and I arguing.
Oh, our arguments are funny though.
You.
Well, go ahead. Finish telling Calvin what he needs.
I can't finish because you keep interrupting me.
Okay, just don't go there yet. Don't go there. Stop that.
Y'all feel me, right? Y'all feel me.
You feel me. You feel me.
Okay, so Calvin said, what do I think about using a headhunter? I think you can use headhunters, but I think that there are ways that you can solve for what you're looking to solve for by yourself. And also with headhunters, they derive a payment from the company, so they get part of your salary. Part of your salary is like a commission to them. So sometimes companies prefer not to hire someone that's connected to a headhunter. So just for whatever that's worth, I just wanted to share that. But as it relates to opportunities for you, because you are a recent college graduate, I think 3 years is the window that a lot of companies use as a rule of thumb. So if you've graduated from college over the last 3 years, companies will pull you into, or have the ability to pull you into, like a training program.
Oh, okay,
for recent college graduates, right? And so that's really the perfect scenario for you, is that you want to identify companies that have these training programs that can it really consolidates your learning, and they thrust you into leadership for that company. They fast track you, they train you, they invest in you. And so lots of companies have these. I know the ones that I have the most familiarity with are NetApp and Cisco, right? And so just as examples, right, when you're hired in those, they give you this intensive training, teach you all of the different things. You get a chance to rub elbows with the executives in the company, like the C-level people, right? Because they're really looking at you and investing in you, and they want you to understand that they would like for you to be a future leader in that company. And now you have kind of like that fraternity that you're a part of within the context of that company. So if you can find a scenario like that, I would definitely advise that. And then the other thing I would do is understand the areas that you're most interested in. Maybe get some certifications and do maybe some projects in those areas. And now you have some additional things on the resume, and it also is showing kind of a bias for action to be proactive around the things that you're looking to pursue.
Yeah, look for those graduate programs for different companies. They all have them. They consider you like their first round draft picks, and they treat you with kid gloves. They literally train you. You get paid to get trained, and then they throw you out there. They don't throw you to the wolves.
Yep.
And the good thing about those programs is they're good for up to 2 years coming out of college. And so I think with Panorama, they might adjust some of that a little bit.
And let me double click on that for a second.
Okay.
For people who are working on graduate degrees or thinking about graduate degrees, those programs apply to you as well, right? So companies, you're working on an MBA or you start an MBA program, a company will hire you predicated on you doing that, right? So just keep those things in mind. It's not just for new undergraduates, it's also for graduate level people.
Right, it is. It is. So we're going into design your life.
It's now the time
to design your life. You know, we talk about a lot of mindset things in this show, and we like to give you guys a little advice to get you out of certain, ways of thinking, to change your thinking, to uplift your thinking, to give you some positivity in your life. And we just want to jump into that now. We're going to talk about, if you're stuck in a rut, 3 ways to find happiness, okay? So we know that during the pandemic, many people have felt their mental health decline.
Yes.
I struggled a little bit there. I was in a little bit of a rut about 2 months ago.
Moment of transparency.
Yeah, and it says the problem has hit everybody. We think it's just people that we meet with every day, or just young people, because but they said the percentage of adults with signs of anxiety or depression has grown 3-fold.
Yep.
It used to be like 10% of us. It's now 30% of us.
Yep.
So ask your friends, talk to people, reach out to people, and just make sure they're okay.
Yep.
So although some people are starting to test the waters of public life again, we're out here, we're getting out here, we're going out, we're trying to be out here, especially with the weather changing and everything. People still have lingering effects from it, and it's psychologists are calling it languishing.
Yeah.
We're just kind of mired in the mess.
Malaise is another term I've seen, right?
Malaise.
You're just like, even though like I'm not depressed, I don't feel suicidal or anything.
Right.
It's just like blah. Like,
right. And what's going on is they feel a sense of emptiness. You might feel a sense of emptiness. You might feel a sense of dissatisfaction. I think that's what I was feeling a little bit. It was like just kind of looking at these 4 walls day in and day out, and the same people day in and day out. Right. Although I love all of them, but you get to a place where you're stagnated. And for a lot of times we used to think our emotions were connected to, they were hardwired. Oh, I just feel this way. This is just how I feel. But what researchers have found, that when they go inside the brain, we can actually fix it. Yep. We can actually do things to trigger different emotions. Think about when you run into something that you're afraid of. Your emotions change immediately, and you react, and you get out of the way. If something scares you, oh, I'm scared, all of a sudden I jump and I'm out of the way. Well, our emotions can be triggered by certain things. So we're going to share 3 ways to trigger those happy emotions.
Trigger the happy stuff.
So what's the first thing? We do this a lot.
We share appreciation.
Yeah. Campos recommends this simple practice. Get together with some friends, write out 3 cards, 3 things that you're grateful for in the other person, and then share the cards with one another. That's a really cool thing. We do this all the time.
Yep.
We do it especially around birthdays. That's one of our family traditions. We get around the table and we say, what do we love about that person? What are we grateful for about that person? That's our gift to them.
You know, another great thing about that practice is that it gets you in the practice of giving, right? And they say that it is better to give than to receive. And I think in terms of like, you know, triggering things chemically inside of you and just being happy and when you can share with people in that way, I think a lot of it comes back to you in spades.
Yeah, I think it's important to be in that area of sharing, and volunteering, giving love to someone else. I find myself uplifted when I'm in Target or I'm in a store or something and I see a lady that just got her hair done and I say to her, you know what? Oh my God, your hair looks so good.
Yeah.
Or that's a beautiful shade of lipstick, or I love your shoes,
Yeah.
or your jewelry is amazing. Sometimes I do it because I think it, and it's like if the thought jumped in my head, what's wrong with it coming out my mouth and giving love to this person I don't know, this stranger? And you should see people light up, and when they light up, it's like energy buzz just goes through my body. It's just amazing. So whenever I see strangers, I do this. I do it with my family all the time. I do it with them all the time. I just want to say, baby, you just look so fine. I want to let me kiss your lips. I do stuff like that. Yeah. And I do stuff like that because I just think it's important. If you think it, if verbalize it, let the person know, oh my gosh, you look so sexy in that light right now. Or those pants look good on you. Or that dress, that dress looks, whatever it is. Oh, your hair is happy today. Whatever comes to your mind. I'm just thinking about things I say to my kids.
Yeah.
Whatever you're thinking, let it come out. We've gotten to a point, especially when you're all closed in like we've been the last few months, is we're not used to speaking it out, and it's going to bring you joy. It says we're using this task right now in my laboratory, one of these psychologists says, and although the data is preliminary, we see so far that people enjoy writing what they appreciate in others, and they enjoy sharing it with that other person. It seems to be affirming bonds. Sometimes it even ends up in hugs, and that has happened to me pre-panorama. If I said something nice to someone that I didn't know, they'd be like, oh, and they give me a hug, and it's just like, it's gonna come back to you. It's gonna make you feel better, and it's going to lift your spirit.
And gratitude in general is just so dope, right? And our daughter Jasmine does that on her IG, right? She'll take a picture
dreams of Jasmine,
and she'll leave 3 points about things that she's grateful for that day. And so this is just such a really cool practice, right? Just giving you a regimented sense of, let me stop whatever it is that I'm doing and let me just be grateful.
Right.
And let me count the blessings that I have, right? So Tracy is showing you, oh, you had it, baby.
I know. Hold on.
Tracy is showing you an example of what Jasmine does on her IG. So you can see how, she's taking a little selfie.
There we go.
And she'll list out
can't see it.
kind of the things that she's grateful for. So just really cool. Just wanted to call that out.
Yeah, she does that. Okay, come on. There we go. She does that. And it's another thing. Take an all walk. Take an all walk. So this is take a 5-minute walk outside.
Right.
Outside, guys, each day, where you intentionally shift your thoughts outward. Turn off your cell phone, or even better, don't bring it with you.
Yep.
Don't bring it.
We don't have
to take our phones everywhere.
I do it all the time when I'm cutting my flowers.
He does it all the time. And then focus your attention on the small details of the world around you. If you live in the city, look for different things.
Yeah.
And it says, look for things that are unexpected, hard to explain, and delightful. What's one of the things you see all the time?
Oh, I was in New York yesterday, and I was in the building where AWS is, and so I was 5 or 6 floors up in this building, but it was like there was 2 pigeons out there doing their thing on a rooftop adjacent to where I was.
Y'all, just so you know.
And these pigeons were just like, they were just chopping it up. They were talking. They were talking. They were kissing. They were rubbing each other's necks.
Oh my goodness.
They were eating. For like a good 20, 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Just in the same place. And it was really unexpected to the point
Mm-hmm.
that this is making. It was really cool to see, and it was like, wow, this is like a whole thing, right?
How did it make you feel?
City Birds. I came up with the name City Bird. I was like, that's a good name for a company. You know, tech companies have all these funny names.
Yeah.
I was like, City Birds. That's a name I came up with yesterday.
And when you do that, you let yourself feel the power of nature.
Right, right.
You're in awe of it.
I was really in awe.
And then
yeah.
what you do is you grab onto that feeling
Mm-hmm.
and you practice it
Mm-hmm.
over and over again. When you feel yourself feeling a little, melancholy, remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And you grab onto that feeling and you practice it over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And practice feeling awe at colorful clouds,
Mm-hmm.
an intricate pattern in a flower,
Mm-hmm.
or the thing I love is when the moons we've had lately. The
Mm-hmm.
moons we've had lately are just amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I do
practice
it
that.
with my flowers a lot too, right? In terms of like looking at the plant life and seeing like this rose is different than this rose, and this rose has more layers, and the petals are shaped differently, and like all
So
of that
cool.
stuff is it just blows my
And
mind.
sometimes the light colored flowers, the dark
Uh-huh.
part will bleed into the light color. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The third one is listen to a calm concert.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like when I'm doing my work, it's you have to make sure that you keep yourself calm, right, and understand how you can kind of compartmentalize what it is that you're doing and realize that, hey, I'm not performing open heart surgery. Nobody's gonna die if I don't get this particular thing done right now. But when you're in that world, it can be stressful.
It can be.
Right? You're locked in. You're working virtually. You got these emails. You got these action items. You got stuff that's pressing down on you. And so when I'm working, I got my music on pure focus.
Yep.
It's calming. It's at like this same, I don't know what they call it,
The sounds of
decibel
nature
level
and
or
stuff.
whatever.
Oh, the
whatever
megahertz.
that whole thing, right? And so I find that it helps me to stay calm when I'm executing during the day. And so now I can do the things that I need to do, but I have all of these vibes that are helping me.
Yeah, so a recent meta-analysis from the University of Michigan finds that sounds of nature, bird songs, water running in a brook, it's going to lower your stress. It's going to promote calmness and improve your mood.
Yeah.
So they have tons of these channels on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, or even they have them now. You can do a Calm app. I think LeBron James is part owner in that Calm app. You've got if you want to do it for free, you can go on YouTube and just put it in, put in calming sounds. Or I like to listen to the 369 or the 639 megahertz sounds on YouTube. I do that sometimes.
Like we use the water, the ocean sounds when we go to sleep.
Yeah, when we sleep, I put in rain. I put in rain.
Yeah, rain.
Rain with thunder. We sleep on that. And it's just really a calming effect to your body, to your subconscious, to your spirit man, your spirit woman, or spirit whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it really, really just comes out and it changes your mood throughout the day.
There's a lot of feng shui stuff that's connected to that too.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. In your neighborhood, sit under a tree, sit near water. Water is amazing.
Yeah,
if you can find some place where there's water, just take it in. Don't just walk past it. Take it in for a second.
Yeah.
Sit down, close your eyes, and consciously listen to natural sounds around you.
Yes.
Listen for all that stuff, trickling water, birds. We have so many birds in our yards. We constantly.
It's like
in
estuary.
Tri-City, we have these French doors in our bedroom, and sometimes when it's raining really hard, one of my favorite things to do is just open the doors. And I just leave the doors open. I just sit here and I just hear it just shh. It's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
So try sitting for at least 5 minutes whenever you get a chance and allow and enjoy the calm to just watch over you. This is a design your life thing, guys, and we just really wanted to pass on. It's things that we practice. Yep. So we got a few more questions. We had a little longer show today, guys, because we had a little glitch. No biggie wiggy.
Glitches be crazy.
Oh, we got a couple question, Reality Dog. Okay. If you have a great relationship with a promising future outlook, what should you do if you really want to move and your partner firmly doesn't?
Yeah, that is an excellent question, Reality Doll. Here's what I would say. You have the conversation and you add that to all of the things that are happening in your life, right? You really have to trust you really have to trust that inner voice and understand where you're being led.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's one of the things that I tell people all the time is that, in the times of my life when I have like willed this or forced myself to do that or said, I really want to do this thing or that thing, or
doesn't turn out good.
And it hasn't always turned out the way that I envisioned. But I found that when I let it flow, right, and when I see the things that come to me in ease and with ease, that's usually where I'm being led, and that's usually what I want to tune into, tap into, and flow that way, right? And so I think that if you are doing that and then you find that you're being led to this new place, then you're doing and you're going to where you need to be. And if that other person is attached to you or should be attached to you, then they will follow.
Yeah. I go back to, and I guess we're considered a little different these days. We're proponents of marriage. We've been married for 31 years. We've seen the advantages of being married. And there is a difference. There is a difference. Don't let anybody tell you there's no difference between being married and not being married.
It's just a piece of paper.
It's not just.
I don't want to mess it up. We got to get a relationship now.
And if you're not married, you literally are not attached. You legally you're not attached. Literally, you're just attached emotionally, unless you own property and things like that together. But as far as convincing someone else to realize your pursuit, it's gonna be hard when you're not legally bound. I think Heath and I have kind of had this situation, and I think I bent, and it was it a move? Was it a move when we moved from where we were living in Atlanta to?
I'm not really sure what you're talking about right now, baby.
Okay, so there was a time in our marriage that I wanted to remove myself from a certain situation. A location.
Okay.
And he did not.
Yep.
He did not understand what the issue was.
Yes.
What's the problem here?
Okay, I'm tracking with you now.
Okay.
I'm tracking with you now.
So I had to resign to pushing the buttons myself. I had to line up how to get where I wanted to be.
Or where you felt like we should be.
Where I felt like we should be. Now, the difference is we were married.
Right.
And so the thought process is gently nudge, gently pursue,
right,
gently show the advantages and why you feel so strongly about it.
Yes.
And communicate those things to him. Now, Heath was my husband at the time. So I said, okay, I'm going to do these things and make things easier on him.
Right.
I'm not so sure about that in a regular relationship. I don't know how to live that way. So I'm going to be honest with you there. Yeah. But I think you should focus on pursuing what you want.
Yeah.
God doesn't give you an idea that's not fully clothed.
Absolutely.
Don't ignore it because someone you're committed to is not there yet.
Yeah. I want to double click into one thing. And that is, the saying goes, you never know what you have until it's gone. And so from that perspective, that also can come into play, right? When somebody sees the full package going out the door somewhere else, moving forward, elevating, uplifting.
Be like, wait a minute.
Okay, well, let me make some adjustment then. I'm going to go ahead and do that.
If you don't move, you'll never know if
so
he's going to move or not. If you don't move it. If you don't move along, if you continue to stay where you are, he's going to be like, oh, she's not doing it anyway. So you will never know the answer to your question.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Hey, Ron says, I get on my favorite bench outside.
Okay.
I sit uninterrupted for 20 minutes at least. It's my favorite part of the day.
Love it.
It's a reset period. I love that word, reset. I'm always happy while I do that and after I do that. I love that. And then when you're going throughout your day, it's like you connect back to that feeling that you felt because it's helping you remember how to feel that way.
Yeah.
I love it.
Those constant reminders.
Oh, yes. The moons have been beautiful. They've just been so. And the Calm by Nature channel on YouTube is so good. Oh, that's such a good one.
Completely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The other thing is.
They're engaged.
Engagement.
Okay. So you all have some real talking to do. And you need to line up your priorities in the relationship.
Right.
Not in anything else. That's what people get wrong about marriage and about relationships. It's like the job isn't important. How you feel about it in this moment in time. It's about what's important for the overall relationship. Those are the conversations that you need to have.
Yeah, we did a deep dive in that on a course we have coming out, right? That particular item is really talking about the shield and the protection of the shield versus so the idea is that you guys are moving down the path to marriage.
Yes.
Right? And so what's most important when you're married is the marriage. And so
nothing else.
A lot of people miss this point. And so the idea is that so the analogy I drew in the course that when we were writing it was the NFL. Right? And so you guys know how everything in the NFL is about the shield, right? The owners feel this way, the players feel this way, and so and so, and you can't do this, and you can't be wearing all this crazy stuff. You got to wear the uniform, it's got to look a certain way, and the point is that you have to protect the shield. Like the ongoing piece of the NFL is more important than this one particular thing. And so that's the same thing we're saying about the relationship, is that the marriage is really the most important thing. And what does the marriage most need? And how can you make sure that it proliferates moving forward?
So it's about that. It's not about anything else. It's not about what you want. It's not about what he wants. It's not about compromise. It's about the marriage. It's about the engagement. Okay? All right. Okay. That's the way we do it. That's the way we do it. Guys, we want to say thank you for enjoying your time. We enjoyed your time with us today. You could have been anywhere.
Yes.
But you chose to spend time with us, and we know it when we see you, and we want to say thank you.
And stay with us through the glitches too.
I know. I love that. We got a real tribe. I love that. Join us again next Saturday at 11 EST.
That's
and
it.
remember,
wherever you're going, don't just live there.
design your life there.
Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Just give it up. I'm not your girl, and I never will be. Don't call me up. Don't waste your time, 'cause I'll be your enemy. If you want love, look somewhere else. He'll find nothing. Just give it up. I'm not your girl, 'cause I only love me. Don't get me wrong. You and I could have fun together when I feel done with having fun on my own. It's better to care for yourself, not rely on somebody else. So don't get me wrong, I'm just riding alone. Just walk away, 'cause I got no intentions of hanging out with you tonight. Don't look my way. If you want a problem, I'll give you a problem, alright? If you want love, just give it up. You got the wrong girl. You got the wrong, you got the wrong, you got the wrong girl, girl. You got the wrong, you got the wrong, you got the wrong girl, girl. This is my time. I'm feeling good, rule every party. See how I shine when I'm alone. Nothing can stop me. You should go out, meet someone else, someone who gets you. Don't stick around. I'm pretty
Great idea. Merch is coming. Merch is coming.
The Heath and Tracy Tribe merch.
I love that.
good